Oh my gosh. Fairy Tail starting off 2015 with probably its best chapter. And I've said this last year with some of the stuff that happened in the 400s, early 400s, but I think this is the best chapter. I think this is not only the best chapter so far this year, even though this is like the first chapter this year that I'm reviewing, but it's such an amazing start, such an incredible and defining moment for Fairy Tail for that matter. And wow, like Hiromashima started this off with Beyond a Bang. Oh my gosh, the feels that I caught from this one. It was amazing. Like Hiromashima, I don't think anything that's going to start off in this week is going to be able to touch that level. Or there's not going to be many chapters of anything that's going to get to that caliber. That was incredible. So the beginning of this chapter, you basically have Marred Gear like, no, I can do it. And pretty much Zeref is like, yo, it's over. So you can see at this point that Zeref knows Marred Gear is incapable. He's like, okay, I get it. You can't do shit. Let me just close you back up. And he sucks him in. And it kind of shows that, like, it was a mixed thing, because it's like on one half is like the way he was talking, like you did your best, you did good, and you know, he puts them away. It's like on one half is like, does he care? Maybe he did kind of care about them in a way, because they are his creations at the end of the day. But then at the same time, it's like, get back in the fucking book. So it's like a mixed thing, and I think that kind of says a lot about Zeref's character, and it kind of plays into who we know Zeref to be, that there's this kind of mixed person. On one half, there's this good side, and then on the other half is this weird, evil side. So that kind of fits into the realm of who Zeref is and who we've come to know at this particular point. So with him doing that, it's like, you did good. Now get back in the fucking book. The two sides of him. And the crazy thing is, Zeref was like, I wanted to finish things with you today, but Acnologia got in my way again. So that shows that Acnologia is one of the few threats in this world, or one of the few things in this world that can truly throw a monkey wrench into his plans. If he wanted to do things like, yo, let's end there here and now, and Acnologia got there, it's kind of like Acnologia basically is something that he can't mess with. Maybe Acnologia is just out of even Zeref's league. I don't see it like that, because it's crazy, because Zeref, you know, he's the creme de la creme as far as villains go, but it's like Acnologia basically fucked up his whole shit. And again, it's like, we don't even know really too much regarding Zeref's, like, why is it that he appears, disappears, where is he at when he disappears, where does he go, what's going on with him? So it's something very mysterious with Zeref that we don't really know too much about. But the fact that he was planning on finishing shit, and, you know, basically Acnologia fucked shit up, it speaks that Acnologia at the very least is a big enough threat to make even Zeref like say, fuck, I can't do it right now. And when he said, will he end history once again, or will a miracle happen? I don't know. Does he mean that back in the day when all the dragons were around, that he was the one that ended that time period? Or is he talking about time travel again? Because we do know we had time travel, hello. So it's like, what is he referring to when he says that? That's something that definitely is like interesting. And to be honest with you, I think a big portion of Zeref coming back and taking the book and everything we heard about End is, a lot of this arc is starting to seem as though it was build up to a future arc regarding E.N.D. We will see E.N.D. at some given point, but I'm starting to think that we might not see it at this arc. I think that it's a huge possibility. Yeah, it's over. Because, I mean, he took the book and dipped, and the whole reason to get E.N.D. was from this book. So, a lot of this arc, while, yeah, okay, it threw a curveball, and, like, it built up E.N.D., but we didn't get to see him. I think this chapter made up times 10 for that. It's kind of like, okay, maybe we'll see E.N.D. at some given point, and, yeah, that was huge build-up and foreshadowing for later events of what's to come. Who knows, maybe the whole Sting Cat thing is going to happen with E.N.D., but, yeah, like, I mean, this chapter made up for it. And it kind of makes me wonder, just like with Zeref, what is his connection to Natsu? What is all this stuff? He's like, because in the past, he was like talking as if he was like friends with Natsu. And I don't know if it's just that he changed back then, because remember, he was like 1 minute like crying and like, oh my god, I can't believe it's Natsu. And then like he started getting back into this dark mode. So I don't know if it's a split personality with him, because he's like, if you can survive this desperate situation, I will give you more despair. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Again, there's like dual personality. It's like, I don't know, maybe that, and again, that goes back to as well, which I really need to get more back into Fairy Tail Zero, because of his whole relationship with Mavis, because if Mavis knew him, and maybe he was a good person, maybe they were best friends at some given point, then it gotta make you wonder, what is it? Is it just that there's a curse in him that changes him from good to bad, or what's up with that? Because why would he say something like that when he was talking about that Natsu will be the one to kill him? Or is it that he's seen all this before? Is he from the future? Has he seen what will happen and what will ultimately be the outcome, and he's trying to change it by coming back in time? And again, yeah, that was just a huge, you know, setup for what's to come later on with Zeref showing up and then taking the book and leaving. So I'm imagining possibly the next arc, or arc or two after that, we will get E.N.D. being finally revived by possibly even Zeref himself, and Zeref will show up. And then when we cut back to the Acnologia versus Igneo, Like, first of all, E.N.D, it sucks that he was sleeping so long, so that's why seemingly the Akalogia had the upper hand, and it was kind of like E.N.D, I think, maybe underestimated him slightly simply because he was strong probably before he went into, the dragons probably lost some power hiding in the humans and sleeping this long. Like, they weren't out and about, getting their strength up and, I guess, stretching their muscles, so to speak. So I think he underestimated that the Akalogia, like, he's out there. He's doing his thing. He fucked up guild arts. He did guild arts, and so he's not playing around, and he underestimated the situation. And I mean, just humongous progression and revelations. Like, so we find out the second reason why the dragons were in there, in particular E.N.D, this entire time. We find out basically that what we kind of already knew, like basically what was revealed chapter 2 ago, that they were inside the bodies basically so that they can make sure the dragon slayers don't turn into dragons, and they even put antibodies in there. I wouldn't be surprised though if there's something that changes that. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody at some given point has the ability to change between human and dragon or something. That would be very unique, but it would have to make sense as well because it would kind of fuck up in a way the dynamics of the whole reasoning E.N.D being in there. One of the main reasons was to give them those antibodies. Maybe the antibodies will allow that they can turn into dragons, but they can come back to their humanity whenever they want. But then we also find out that he basically wanted to fucking take out Akalogia. It was something from their legacy that they had to take out, so it was basically like unfinished business. And it was like, at some given point, I have to finish this guy, but it kind of makes me wonder, why didn't he come out? Was it that he knew of Mavis's presence? Did he play a part or something in what happened 7 years ago? Why didn't he come out when they were fighting Akalogia with Makarov? Like, I think we should get something, a little bit of a word or two regarding that, just so that it could, be a little bit more understood as to what happened. Why didn't he show up? Did you know about Mavis, or what's going on? Or maybe, who knows, the dragons were this close to showing up and Mavis came before they can, make their move. And honestly, like, they better do this right in the anime. They better do this right, because I'll be 100% honest with you. That ending of the chapter gave me really strong feels. It was really fucking amazing. This was probably the best chapter in Fairy Tail again. And I said that with chapter 400, like I said, but this was incredible when Natsu is rushing there. It kind of gave me a weird feeling of like, this could happen in a way with like Luffy and Shanks or something. Like, because that's his father, E.N.D is Natsu's father, basically. And Shanks is Luffy's father figure. Just imagine he was in that situation. And when he was running, I'll help you and everything. He's like, no, you can't fuck with this. And he gets killed and blasted. Like, Hiro Mashima, I ain't gonna lie, you started this year off incredible, and this is greatness. This chapter right here was absolute greatness. I gotta give credit where it's fucking due, and this chapter was amazing. I'm giving this one like that 11 out of 10, 100 out of 10 type of feel, because it was incredible. It was, Hiro Mashima just stepped this game up. Please, as much as I thought E.N.D was awesome, don't pull no BS. Let it be legit. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. Other than that, incredible, and I loved it. It was amazing, and the execution was just done very well. Because especially that last line, what E.N.D said, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, and it kind of shows a little bit as well that the dragons over time, the reason they did this is because they came to care for these kids. Like, I think at some given point they really weren't into humans, and I think it's been explained as well. But when he said, "You gave me the power to love humans, and the best times of my life were spent with you," oh my god, that was incredible. Yeah, enough said. It was amazing and very fucking just heart-wrenching. Just don't reverse that. Let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. What did you think? How did you feel? Is this the best chapter in all of Fairy Tail? Like, is this the best moments in all of Fairy Tail, period, do you think? Like, in my opinion, I don't think I've ever felt as much as I felt for this particular chapter, so that speaks volumes of how amazing this was. And just overall, what do you guys think? Is he dead? What do you think about, like, the Akalogia fucking him up? Is this basically a huge setup for Zeref and N to show up at some given point later on down the road? And what the fuck is up with Zeref? 1 minute, he's like, "Oh, Natsu, I'm crying for you." Next minute, "I'm gonna show you total despair." What is going on with that motherfucker? And just your overall thoughts. Starting off 2015, absolutely amazing Fairy Tail. That was greatness. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. E.N.D, you'll be missed.